Well, let me say good evening. I didn't really forecast that far in advance that I would be on because the truth of the matter is, I wasn't really sure what time I was going to get on, but I'm here. And so I want to speak from the heart of two things that I think are relevant, two things that I think are important, two things that I think have to be looked at, dealt with, embraced. I think these are overwhelmingly important. Cora, Nancy, bless you for being here. I think, Victor, how are you? Okay, Trinette, good to have you here with us. Jaleesa, good evening to you. I think these things need to be looked at. Minister Sarah, bless your heart. They have to be addressed. Um, Kathy, good to have you. Good to see so many of you that have jumped on with little of no notification. Linda, thank you for being here. And you can share it if you want to. Valerie, bless you. And I just need to talk about this. I need to talk about this. I need to challenge us and engage us so that we can see what we can do about what's going on. I think this is just so relevant and important for us to really get serious about. Barbara, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone that is getting on live. I appreciate those that are going to watch later. Erica, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Don't want to intrude on your Sunday. Don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. Thank you for sharing, Valerie. But it's kind of weighed heavy on my heart. Um, people, I've been in Youngstown. I've pastored in Youngstown for over 28 years, and I'm what they call an outsider. I don't live in Youngstown. No, I don't. My reasonings for not living there have absolutely nothing to do with Youngstown as much as it has to do with family. Hey, Tom. And so, in the midst of all of that, I made a choice. And that choice was to make sure that the convenience of my family were more important than the convenience of me commuting back and forth. And that's the decision that I made. And Lady Harrison and I made that decision. Our house is financed in Youngstown. Hey, Jemison, we shop mostly. I do in Youngstown, unless it's Amazon. Of course, as many of you well know, I've got major stock in Amazon. So why should I care? Why should I even be concerned about the condition of the city? Cora, I just read what happened to you today. And I said, what is it about Youngstown that I sure am, some years ago, two people decided to divide the city up if it didn't have significance and potential because businessmen don't invest in that which would eventually die and become nothing. And then after that, you know what used to be Youngstown. I'm sure it still is. It's probably underground more than it ever has been before. But what is it? What devilish, demonic ploys are in place now that causes a total disregard for human life now? What is it that the enemy has done and convinced? And it's not just our young people, because some of these fools are much older and they're being just as stupid as these younger people are. Why is it life isn't worth living? Why is it that They don't know how to handle anger without some level of retaliation. What is this? And again, Cora, because you knew the Lord and his protective hand was upon you and your family, how do you deal with these families that are nowhere near where you are, nowhere near in understanding the power and the protection that God has made available to them, because right now God's not relevant. He has no purpose in their life. God has abandoned them and caused them to live in an economically depressed city, although there is much money in the city. It's not as economically depressed as it is said to be, because there are pockets of wealth, and there are those who will fight and manipulate and maniacally do whatever it takes to make sure that none of that wealth is ever shared with anybody but their own cronies and their own friends. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm going somewhere. If you just give me a few minutes, I'm going somewhere. In a few more years, Youngstown will be a senior citizen city. I want you to think about this. If something does not happen, if something does not change between our young people killing each other and going to jail, between lesser and lesser opportunities being made available, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I believe, excuse me, that there are opportunities in Youngstown, but many of our young people, because of where they are mentally, because of how they feel, because of the despondency that exists within them, there's no hope. They stay high and drunk all the time. Drug dealing is more important and more beneficial, even though it is short term. At least for a short period of time, they would have what we call some level of success. These are future Fortune 500 business people who are going into Todd and Belmont cemeteries because they have not been able to understand the power of an educated mind that can create wealth rather than stripping its only community of it. That's what drug dealing does. Drug dealing rapes its own community. I know y'all don't like me. Drug dealing robs the minds of future important people who could be the business runners and the business owners. Then we have systems that are in place that are designed for us to continue the privatization of prisons because that's the only thing they know what to do with us. We start out in preschool, grade school, out of control, medicated. When medication doesn't work, then we have to come up with alternative schools because the school systems will not tolerate this disruptive behavior. And many of these disruptive behaviors come from the fact that the parents were drug users or alcoholics. And so that has become a part of their DNA. And even though other cultures know how to deal with it, we're not going to, because so much funding has been removed from inner cities to help those who are struggling mentally. And with the pandemic taking place, it has exacerbated itself to a unbelievable level that we're now seeing the residual effects of mental illness that has been caused by the pandemic. These things were already there. These things were already happening. And then all of a sudden, when the pandemic came, it grew and it escalated, and it became evident that our communities are underserved. Sabrina, how you doing, dear? Is Youngstown worth saving? Should we Is Daryl Jones on? I wasn't sure if he was there or not. I might have missed somebody as I was going through my monologue. Um, is Youngstown worth saving? And there are others that are really, really putting their best foot forward in the area that they possibly can. But if we, the people of God, and you cannot expect the people of darkness to make a change. They're already in darkness. They're already blinded by the God of this world. If there's going to be a change, okay, thank you, Valerie. If it's going to be a change, the change has to come from the people of light, the people who are trusting in the Lord. Yeah, the shooting this morning. Yeah, it used to be the boys, now it's the girls. It is a cash crop. You have to remember that all of this stuff now that was implemented decades ago are beginning to materialize itself into wealth for other people at our expense. And the sad thing about it is we don't even know it. All we know is we can't stop getting high. All we know is we can't stop drinking. Many of these stores that sell beer and wine are not permitted in white neighborhoods. I can say that because it's true. When these types of stores apply for liquor licenses, their city councils will not permit that to take place. They will fight, their mayors will fight to keep those stores out of their communities because they understand that the same thing that is anesthetizing the inner city will happen to them as well. So they fight against it. They won't allow certain things to come into their community that rests in ours. Think about this. Thank God for action in the food truck. But I'm going to say something that I think needs to be said. When I was the president of Action, we brought a grocery store back to Youngstown on Market Street on the south side, and nobody would shop there. So when Giant Eagle saw that it was not feasible for them to have the store, they shut it down. What is it that causes this vicious cycle of self-destruction to continue to take place? Is Youngstown worth saving? I want us to think about this because I say yes, it is. I say yes, it is because the devil wouldn't be fighting as hard as he is if there wasn't a jewel in the rough, if there wasn't something spectacularly powerful that God wants to bring out of the rubbish of the past. I believe it is worth saving because if we don't begin to fight the good fight of faith for Youngstown, there won't be a Youngstown as we glory in the days of when Youngstown had money and was well known, although racism was still very much alive and well. So, what do we do? There are different things. Community mobilization. Pastor Kenneth Simon is doing the Stop the Violence March. We got Daryl Jones, who is doing what he's doing to help to aid some of the pressure off of things that are going on in our community, whether it's gas or whether it's providing this, that, or the other. There are other organizations, Guy Burney and Serve, that's in the midst of all. And I'm only naming a few, so don't get upset if I don't name yours. That's one of the problems, too. We always want to hear our names called instead of doing something that's worthy of being called by the name. And so, what do we do? That's the reason why Bishop and I, this is our third year. Bishop and I came together because we said, what is our niche? What is it that we can do that's different from everybody else? Because everybody knows Everybody knows I support all of the other initiatives. If anybody says I don't, they a lie. And I'm calling them a liar. An initiative that is really there to help the community to make things better, I have been there, especially if it benefits the Black community, because the last time I checked, I was Black. So, are y'all still there? Some of y'all done left after you heard that? Did that scare some of y'all? No, because you know what? It's time for the truth to come out. Bishop and I 3 years ago sought the Lord, and we had that revival on the South Side. And the enemy raged, the enemy warred, the enemy started shooting people and doing all kind of stuff. The enemy, because he didn't want us there. People got saved. People got delivered. People got set free. That's right, Robin. Think about this. Things started happening in coalition with other things. And then every dime we raised, listen to me, I didn't get a penny. Bishop didn't get a penny. Pastor Mark Jackson didn't get a penny because he helped us in the second one. Nobody got paid. Nobody, not one preacher got paid for preaching. Not one. Not in their time, nor are they going to this time. Every dime we raised outside of what it costs to do the revival, and the first cost, Bishop and I footed at least $6,000 to make this come to pass, and we didn't take a dime. And we raised $4,000 to $5,000, and we gave it to something of the kids' care. Jaleesa, give me the right name of what they're called. You know what that did for them? Because of the work they do, and they're underfunded. They had a trip that they were taking to Disney World, and it enabled them to take a bunch of kids on a plane to Disney World, to take them out of a hostile environment and to allow them to at least have a few moments of fun for the work that they do. I guess Jaleesa's not there. City Kids Care. Then last year, I think we gave $3,500 or something to the one organization. Oh, see, that's what happens when you can't remember. Jaleesa, are you there? What's the name of the other organization? Because I can't remember. Youngblood. Brian Youngblood was in charge of that at that time because he now has his own organization. We gave that money to them, which enabled young people to be able to do something. We're going to do the same thing again. I'm a little disappointed that I can't get some information that I need when I need it so I can make a decision on how to bless an African-American organization that is helping our children. Because that's who we're targeting, is children, young people. That's who we are looking for. Officer Malik stepped up in there and did some tremendous things for us. The crowds were astronomical. Why? Because not only did we raise the money, but we raised a standard and we raised the presence of our God on the south side of Youngstown. So what am I saying? What am I saying? We're going to do it again starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. in the same place, in the same location. Tent goes up tomorrow. No, it wasn't the Boys and Girls Club. It's something with scholars, some kind of urban scholars. That's what we did. Because this is the school that our young people go to before they have no school to go to. Academy for Urban Scholars. I got it. Academy for Urban Scholars. And Jamar and Mark Raines Jr. and all of them work there. And they are the last hope these kids have before permanent expulsion. Now, y'all didn't hear what I said. Y'all didn't hear what I said. Crime dropped exponentially. Things changed, and we're back again. And here's what we need. We just need you to spread the word. Let everybody know, yeah, we're going to have about 200 chairs out there. Bring your own lawn chair, whatever. We ran out of chairs, but we're going to bless the Lord. I'm preaching on Tuesday night. Pastor Krista Tyson is preaching on Wednesday, and Bishop Paramore is going to close us out on Thursday night. And we need your presence, your prayers, and your finances, because we need to be a blessing. Let me say this. I thank God, and we'll have a banner that'll be put up with the sponsors who have helped us out tremendously in offsetting the cost, which enables us to put more money toward helping these. And these sometimes are organizations don't nobody hear anything about, but they are doing work. I mean, real work. They're working with children nobody else wants to work with, and they're doing it, and they're doing it well. So here's what I want to say. Support us. Right now you can support us, and I should have put it up here. Let me see if I have this slide that I can put up here. I do. Here's how you can give. Right now, everything is funneled through the Union Baptist Church. So the same way you give on a Sunday or a Wednesday or through the week is the same way you give toward the revival. The only thing you have to do is you have to put in the memo that it's for the revival. And we will make sure that every penny we raise goes to the organization. And that's so important. That is so, so, so important. Is Youngstown worth saving? Yes, it is. We need our college-educated young people to stay in Youngstown. And I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but we need more than parties to stay in Youngstown. We need entrepreneurs and the spirit of excellence and different things to take place to keep our young people viably. We need to open some doors for them that some folk don't want open because they're so threatened by new and upcoming leadership that they'll do everything they can to stomp the life out of it. I've never seen people so afraid of losing positions before like I do now. It's ridiculous, because to everything there is a season. And let me put a pin in this for just a second. Everybody in leadership right now has gotten older or old. And if we don't start mentoring some people, if we don't start showing some people that they can viably be a part of the lifeblood of Youngstown, they're going to plug in someplace else. I've watched human capital of an unbelievable magnitude bless other cities and blow up and become all kind of things. So I wanted to, is it worth it? Yes. I'm done. Issue one, vote. You might not want to vote. Seniors, get your families out to vote. Vote. Do what you need to do to make sure you vote. Vote no. Vote no. Vote no on issue one. Don't allow these people to take away the majority rule. Don't allow it. Thank you, Sabrina. We're pushing early voting. We don't want to wait till souls to the polls. The numbers of turnout for voting is beyond their expectation, but they got their cronies out there trying to mingle this thing in with abortion. They were able to get enough signatures to get the abortion initiative put on the ballot. That has nothing to do with issue one. But they put them together to try to confuse people because they know for the most part, we're conservative when it comes to abortion. And so what they did is they couched it in such a way to make you feel bad that if you vote no, then you're also voting for abortion. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Issue one is to remove the existing threshold for constitutional amendments. This state is already gerrymandered against us. And by doing this, we'll never get another constitutional amendment passed. The minority will be able to rule the majority. Whatever people want to vote on in November is their business. The Lord in the Bible says that I provide for you a choice, life or death. Choose. If that's what the state chooses, we live with it. If they vote it up, we live with it. If they vote it down, we live with it. The church's responsibility is to provide morality, not government. And the thing that's so amazing about these small government people, all of a sudden now they want government to do everything. They want government to intervene in our lives. Now they've already signed a letter given to Biden that now they want to be able to get your personal medical records so that they can see whether you went someplace else to get an abortion. You're talking about overwhelming intrusion into your personal right. Your medical records are not public, they are private. And yes, Ohio signed, or whatever is LaRose signed the letter. They want to be able to get your private medical records now. Anti-government people now want government to control all of us except them. And then when I saw who he endorsed, I said, well. So the only way we can fight is through the vote. Listen, I got to go. I done kept y'all long enough. I done ranted long enough. I done said more than I needed to say. Continue to pray. LMA, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the porch or not. I got so much going on. But we're going to see what we can do. We're going to see what we can do. But I need the saints to pray. I need them to pray so that the atmosphere will be set. What I hope to do sometime tomorrow is at least go over to where the site is and walk and pray in that area sometime tomorrow. We got things coming and deliveries being made and all kind of stuff has to take place. Okay. So that's important. Listen, y'all have a great evening. I know I kept y'all too long. I know I did. But I needed to get that out. I needed to get that into your mind, into your spirit, into your heart, so you can understand Youngstown is worth saving. But the saving of Youngstown also has to be worth your time, your efforts, your energy, and your resources. No gift is too small. No gift is too big. Save the soul of Youngstown. Citywide tent revival. Minister Linda Daniels, bless you. California dreaming. How you doing? You know I miss you being here. I don't have anybody here right now that did what you did, but I'm so grateful for what God is doing for you out there. It's time to fight back. It's time to let the enemy know you're not going to keep. Thank you. We're not going to let him kill all of our children. We're not going to let him dash our hopes and destroy our dreams. We're not going to let him do it. We're not going to let him do it. We're not going to let him do it. Because if we let him do it, then don't talk about greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. We're not going to do it. And I love y'all with the love of Jesus Christ. Hey, Denise, rest well tonight. May God bless you. May he keep you is our prayer.